Just changing a few of these settings is going to make your FPS boost and your gameplay feel so much better. If your aim feels inconsistent, your FPS is dropping during team fights, or you are losing fights you should be winning, then your settings are possibly holding you back. Today I'm showing you the best Marvel Rivals Season 8.5 settings for PC and controller players. Now I know Season 8.5 is a week away, but I'm going to help you guys change your settings in preparation for the next season coming out next week, so you guys can be ahead of the game and, you know, dominate all the fights as soon as that season comes out. So this settings guide is going to include graphic settings, sensitivities, crosshairs, and a few hidden options that can instantly improve your gameplay. Make sure you watch until the end, because one setting, literally just changing that, completely changed how smooth the game feels for me, and it's improved my gameplay a ton. Right, so here we are in Marvel Rivals. If we jump over to the settings up here, we'll start with the first section, display here. This is basically going to be your graphic settings. In Marvel Rivals, performance is king. A stable frame rate is far more important than ultra graphics. You can run this game low graphics, everything. You know, it's still going to look great. The game looks great, and it's just going to boost your FPS, which is what we need. So for competitive play, to get this FPS boost, I'm just going to run through these settings. You guys are going to just follow, copy these, and yeah, hopefully they do help you. So the first setting here is target display. You obviously want to set this to your primary monitor. Display mode, you want to put this on full screen. Full screen is going to give you the most FPS. Your aspect ratio, display resolution, literally just match these to your monitor. So obviously mine's 16:9, 1920 by 1080. The next section here, this is an important one: anti-aliasing and super resolution type. Now when you open up this, there's a few options for you. If you guys have a Nvidia graphics card or one of the higher end Nvidia ones, you will see an option for DLSS, something I can't remember what it is, but if you have that, literally just pick that. If not, you have all these other options, and you might be thinking, what is the best? You don't know, you don't want to test them all. I find that AMD FSR3 is the best, or Epic TSR, but I found that this is the best. So if you see this, literally select this. Obviously you guys can play around with these, but I find this to be the best for my FPS and my gameplay. But once you've selected this, you've got super resolution mode. You're going to want this on quality or balanced. So if you put it on balanced, it's going to balance everything out. On quality, is going to give you a bit more quality in comparison to a bit of balance between quality and performance. So balanced is the best for me. Super resolution sharpening, this is typically on 80, but I've lowered this to 60 because I've got a lower end PC. But if you've got a higher end, you still probably want to keep this on 80 for the best FPS boost. Frame generation mode, you are going to want this off. Next up is low latency mode. Now this is the big one. You're going to want to select NVIDIA Reflex low latency if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. If not, choose the other option that is available for you dependent on which graphics card company you have. Just select that one. But yeah, for me, I've got NVIDIA, so I pick NVIDIA Reflex low latency. Now brightness, in this game there are a lot of dark areas, dark spaces in the map. Mine's at 90. You can put this anywhere from 70 to 90. I like to keep my game bright because I think that it just pops more and I can see a lot more. Now for match FPS cap, I've got this at 60 because again my PC is low end, but you know, you can scroll down, you can set this to what you want. I would test here at the top, performance test. You can run this, it only takes a few minutes, and it will basically detect your average FPS throughout a match and then cap it literally just below that, so you're not dealing with massive FPS drops constantly. But mine's at 60, so say if you've got a 144 Hz monitor and it's running 120 perfectly fine, just keep this on 120, but mine's on 60. Lobby FPS cap, obviously you can keep this on what you want. I've just customized mine. Background FPS cap, you can keep that what you want. Next up we got show FPS. You're going to want this on because you can see up here it shows how much FPS you're running throughout the game and in the main menu. If I turn this off, you can see that's gone, so I like to keep that on. Network stats, again, keep this on. It's going to display your ping options, your settings. You know, if you're lagging a lot, you're going to see all of that whilst you are in game. VSync, you're definitely going to want this off. You just don't want this on. You can turn it on to prevent screen tearing, but most of the time it's literally just going to damage your FPS. You're not going to want this. Now for the graphics settings here, you can optimize it, but Marvel Rivals doesn't have the best optimization. But you can see I've got everything on low. As I've said, my PC is low end, but even for a mid end and a high end, you're going to want all of these on low. The only thing I would change here is the shadow detail. If you have a better PC, I'd put this on medium because it will show you your character shadow and other character shadows, but you can run the game, everything here on low. It's going to be perfectly fine. Let's now go to the audio section here. So yeah, copying all of these settings that I've got is going to reduce visual clutter. It's going to help maintain consistent FPS during chaotic team fights, and competitive players generally prioritize high stable frame rates over visual effects because, as I said in the intro, the game looks great anyway. You just want the best FPS FPS. If you're getting less than 120 FPS, I would probably lower your render scale slightly until your game feels smooth. So just up here, you can change stuff like this and go for a couple of the settings to optimize it yourself. I would keep this generally on low for everything. It's going to keep the game running smooth and give you the best FPS. Now for audio, you can just copy all of these. This is genuinely personal preference. You know, I've just changed these to what I like. Obviously, I've got nothing here really needs to actually be gone through. Voiceover subtitles, though, I would turn this off because you can see if you turn it on, it clutters your screen. Turn that off, you're going to be fine without that. If you go over to combat mix, however, there is a couple settings you're going to want to change. So this is automatically on default, but if you read on the side, immersive is going to be the best one. It is more enemies, destruction, and explosives. You're going to basically be able to hear a lot more in-game sounds in a direction they're coming from. So I would slap this on immersion, then go through all of these. Literally just copy what I've got. It's important that you have the sounds like being healed up, so you know when you're being healed, you know when to jump into fights. You have material layer volume. This you don't really need. It's like, say, a Groot, he's made of wood, Iron Man made of metal, etc. They're going to just boost the sound of the wood and the metal being damaged. It literally just clutters your audio. I would lower stuff like this. Something I would change though is this: announce when a teammate is KO'd and announce enemy KO. Put these up to max. This is going to literally let you know when your teammates die, when enemies die. It's going to help you know when to push, when to back out of fights, and just slow the pace of the gameplay down. If that makes sense. I would change them. The rest of these are fine. Let's get into the keyboard settings. Now for mouse players, there's no perfect sensitivity because everyone uses different mice and mouse pads, but these are great starting points. So I would genuinely go for 800 DPI, your in-game sensitivity at around 2 to 3, and your scope sensitivity, you can bump this up to what you'd like, but I think I'm running 1500 DPI. This is the sensitivity I find the best. These settings here, raw input, you're going to want this on, everything else off. And then for reticles, now for reticles, you know, I've got a few presets. I've got 2 here. This is my first one, the cross. I use this is my primary crosshair. I will show you the options right now. If you go to reticle type, you choose crosshair, go to advanced and copy all of these settings. If I've gone past, just skip back. But for the color, you literally just, I think you can choose, yeah, just choose green. Or if you do it by custom, turn red, blue down to 0 and green all the way up. And then I'll show you my other crosshair. This is called the micro, literally just a lot smaller. These are the settings for that. But for the rest of these settings, you're going to want your HUD size to default. If it's too small, it's going to look, you know, hard to see. And if it's too big, it will just clutter your screen. All of these off. Allied health bars, you're going to want on. And then for your controls, I think I've just kept these normal. I will scroll through them quickly for you guys. But I think that is literally just set to defaults. Now in the UI, again, this is more keybinds. I think I've kept these all the same. Communication, I've kept these the same, but there is a couple you're going to want to change. In here, this will be set to 4. This is basically for your comms in game. You can see if you have it on 4, you only have 4 options, or 8, you'll have 8 options. If you're not playing with voice chat, you're going to want to communicate through game. So you're going to want to choose 8 so you can communicate more, if that makes sense. And 2 settings down here is your status. You're going to want to put this on. This is basically, if you use this in game, it's going to display what percentage of health you have. So it will say, if you're playing Groot, it will play Groot 70% health. It's going to help your teammates know when to heal you. And thanks, this is just general kindness. Everything else is kept the same. Spectating, this is all kept the same. Now for controller settings, I don't play on controller, but there's a few settings that you're going to want to turn off. You're going to want to turn off vibration, because playing on controller with vibration will just destroy your gameplay. Trust me, just turn this off and you will improve massively. And the last setting that I'm going to give you guys for controller, if you're having stick drift, just up your dead zones until the stick drift goes away. Now for social, I've got everything set to default here. If you are playing competitive and people seem to always be banning characters that you play, you can set these to private, because basically people can view your profile, see who you play the most, they will ban it. You can set these all to private, friends only. I just keep this on everyone. Everything else here is set to normal. Now in the other section, there is one you want to change, and this is display others custom ability VFX. This is usually on. Turn this off. You're going to be able to see other teammates and enemies special effects. It's just going to drop your FPS more. Literally just turn this off. It's going to improve it so much. And then in the accessibility, this is your colorblind sections. I have changed a few of these. I've got enemy colors set to red in comparison to the default. I find the red, if you just keep your eye on the right here, you can see this is a red color. As soon as I change this to red though, it's a lot more vibrant. It pops more. So I've got that on red. I've got the warning color also on red, because this is usually that same lighter red. that the enemy color is on, and then I've just changed this because it just pops out to me more. But that is all of the settings. Those are the best Marvel Rival Season 8.5 settings that I recommend right now. Try them out, play a few matches, and tweak them slightly to fit your playstyle. If this guide did help you, drop a like, subscribe for more Marvel Rivals content, and let me know in the comments what hero you're maining in Season 8.5. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.